Look, I need to get this off my chest because honestly, I'm still processing how everything went so wrong. Maybe this will make sense to you, or maybe it won't. But if you've ever been in a situation like mine, where you love someone with everything you have only to realize that it wasn't enough, then this might just hit you in a way you didn't expect. It was the night I left that I knew something inside of me had shifted, but I didn't know how deep that shift would go. I didn't know that I would be sitting here months later trying to make sense of something that was supposed to be forever. I thought I was strong, that I could walk away from her without breaking. But the truth is I was broken before I even stepped out the door. I remember exactly where we were. It was in the living room, the one with the old rug we bought together from that tiny thrift store. It was a rug we stood on side by side when we moved into the place, when we made plans for future, when everything felt like it would last. And then it didn't. "Michael, you makes me feel alive," she said, her voice quiet, but her words were like a punch to the gut. I didn't ask her to explain. I didn't argue. I didn't say a word. I just stood there letting her words sink into the space between us. I couldn't even look at her. I didn't want to. I could feel the tears welling up in my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. Not in front of her. Not like this. Then, "I hope he gives you everything you're looking for," I said, and even as I said it, I realized how much a lie it was, because deep down I was hoping, praying, that what she was looking for wasn't real. I was hoping she'd realize that I was the one who had been there for her, that I was the one who had shown up when everyone else walked away. But I didn't fight for her. I didn't beg, because I knew begging someone to stay after they've already imagined life without you is the slowest way to break yourself. I walked out that night because I had to, not because I didn't love her, but because I knew I had already lost her. In that moment, I understood something that's taken me months to accept. She had already left me long before she said those words. The first few nights were the worst. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I stayed in a cheap motel outside of the city, 40 minutes away from everything that once felt familiar. I spent those nights staring at the ceiling, replaying everything in my head. Every mistake I made, every word I should have said. I wasn't angry at her, not exactly. I was angry at myself for not seeing the signs earlier, for not noticing how distant she'd become. I didn't answer anyone's calls, not my friends, not my family. The few people who reached out, I pushed them away. I couldn't bear to hear their sympathy. I couldn't bear the thought of anyone knowing what was happening to me. And then one day, I found myself standing in a small apartment, a place far from everything I knew, a place that wasn't hers, wasn't mine, but somewhere I could breathe without feeling like I was suffocating. I got a job at a hardware store just to fill the hours, to have something to do. The owner, an older man, didn't ask questions. I think he could tell I wasn't there for the paycheck. I was just there to keep the quiet from swallowing me whole. Time passed. I started to find some kind of rhythm. I painted my own walls. I adopted a dog from the shelter. Her name was Penny. She didn't fix everything, but she gave me a reason to come home. She gave me a reason to get out of bed every morning. I didn't miss Brooke, at least not in the way I thought I would. I missed the version of her I had built in my mind, the one who would always choose me, the one who would never leave. By month 6, I was starting to breathe again. I was walking into work without feeling like my chest would collapse. I started talking to people again, but I kept it light. No one knew what had happened. No one knew the depth of the hole I had dug for myself. And then one day, I met someone for coffee. It didn't go anywhere, but it was a step. A small step, but a step. And for the first time in months, I didn't think about Brooke. I didn't wonder if she missed me. I didn't question whether or not I should reach out. Month 9 came, and I found myself in a better place. I wasn't healed, not fully, but I was okay. I wasn't looking for answers anymore. I wasn't searching for closure. I had found in the quiet, in the space I had carved out for myself. And then she showed up. It was a Thursday. I had just gotten home from work. My clothes were covered in sawdust and sweat. The scent would lingered on me as I fumbled with the grocery bags. I was unlocking the door when I heard her voice. "Michael." I froze. There she was, Brooke. Same face, but somehow smaller, like someone who'd been worn down by her own choices. Her eyes were red, her face drawn. She was holding a letter. I didn't say anything. I just stood there, letting the moment settle in. The silence between us was deafening. She took a step closer, but I didn't move. "I've been trying to find you," she said, her voice shaking. I nodded, my heart pounding. "Well, here I am." She handed me the letter. It's everything I never said. Everything I should have told you before I threw it all away. I didn't take it. Not because I hated her, but because I didn't want to go back to that place. The place where I let her control how I felt. The place where I let her make me question myself. She started crying, and for a moment, I felt that old ache, the part of me that would have opened the door, would have poured her tea, would have tried again. But that version of me was gone. That version of me was buried under months of pain and self-realization. "I lied about Jason," she said between sobs. "I thought I needed more. But more turned out to be nothing. He never wanted me. Not really. He just wanted the thrill." She wiped her face, looking up at me. "I broke us. I know that, and I don't expect anything from you. I just needed you to know that the only person who ever made me feel alive was you, and I ruined that." I looked at her, and for a moment, I saw the woman I had loved. But that woman was gone. The love I had for her wasn't the same anymore. I wasn't the same anymore. "You didn't ruin us, Brooke," I said, my voice steady calm. "You ruined you." Her face crumpled, and she whispered, "I'm sorry." I nodded. "I hope you heal." "I really do, but I'm not yours anymore." She cried harder. I didn't reach for her. That wasn't my job anymore. She left quietly, just like I had 11 months ago. I walked inside, set the groceries down, and sat on the floor next to Penny. My chest hurt, but it wasn't the same kind of hurt I'd felt before. It wasn't the ache of wanting her back. It hurt because the last thread that had kept me tethered to her was finally cut. And in that space, there was nothing left but peace. If someone ever tells you they found more outside of what you built, let them go. Don't chase. Don't beg. Just walk away. Because if you're lucky, you'll find something better than answers. You'll find peace. And that's the only thing worth searching.